Oh, I am. That's cool.
You hope you are.
I do. Welcome back to interviews featuring me.
You
I'm the only important person here. Who's this other guy? I don't even. What's his name?
okay?
What? What?
Uh, Metalisha?
That
I
makes
don't
a lot
know.
more
What is
sense.
my name? I have forgotten. Oh my god.
Welcome.
I need to make a roll. Take away this guy's ability to react. Never mind. I think we're good. Okay.
Well,
Let's
welcome.
let's start up.
We already started. Welcome
Mm,
to interviews. This time we have TechPat, also known as the guy with the cute dog. Say
this is-
say hello.
hello.
That's a good one. Anyway,
Yeah, pretty
first
pretty funny.
first question. This one comes from C-Chan. Yes, how did you get admin? That's a cool story. You should tell it.
Oh, okay. So I think one time Tasty and Epic were having a conflict in the general chat of the Discord server. I'm not sure if you can find it now. It's probably long gone, but I was basically just handling it the best I could. I was a RC at the time, just telling them to calm down. I was neutral with both parties, so it was pretty easy to get them to calm down. And I think Yoshi liked how I handled the situation, and he asked me if I wanted to be a Discord admin. So that was the story of things. And then we both mutually decided that it would be best that I'm not wiki admin just because of my inactivity on it for a while now. I used to be pretty active back when I first got RC, but now I'm not really too active on there. So yeah, that's the story of how I got admin.
Cool story. Anyway, next question comes from C-Chan as well. Yes, how did you come to the wiki? How did you get here? What was your journey?
So I think at the time I wasn't too knowledgeable about Monster Legends. I definitely had a grasp on some of the meta and how things worked. So I was just searching up Wormlad. I saw he was in the law of comps. I think he was starting to really show himself in the meta, and he was quite overpowered. I just decided to go to his page, and I immediately started debating with people, and eventually I decided to join the Discord server. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Nice. Next question. This
Oh
one.
my god.
What?
Nothing. Just keep going.
Okay. Next question. This comes from Steiny. He says, what made you stay here? Why haven't you left?
I
That's
mean,
quite the rude question.
wait, where? I'm gonna look at the
Scroll
question.
up
How did you
in
find out
podcast questions.
if I'm scrolling up? What? Why'd you stay? I stay in the Monster Legends competitive wiki just because I found it interesting talking about the various metas, and I honestly also just found the strategy in the game interesting. So that's why I kind of stay here to discuss about it. I felt like a lot of other people were pretty knowledgeable, and I thought that was pretty cool. Why did I decide to become RC? I
Hey,
decided to become
hey,
RC. Same, probably
next
pretty much the same
question.
reason actually.
Why did you decide? Why did you decide to become RC? Okay, well now you answer.
Well, yeah, I answered it. Yeah, basically
Answer it
just the
again.
same reason. I like the strategy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Next question. This don't laugh at me.
Oh my god.
Aren't I a
Okay,
great
I
host?
apologize. Yes,
The
very energetic.
I'm the best host for these. Um,
Someone left.
I'm glad. Doesn't deserve to be here. Alright. This one comes from Steiny again. He says, how did you find out about Monster Legends? How'd you find it?
Oh geez, a friend recommended it to me. This was way back. So I think my friend way back then. This was keep in mind this was like elementary school. This was so long ago. Some big YouTubers were playing it because they were dishing out they were sponsoring Monster Legends. I mean Monster Legends was sponsoring people and such. And yeah, my friend found it in that way, and then he recommended it to me, and that's how I found Monster Legends. But at first, I was just kind of just a regular elementary schooler playing a game. I didn't really think much about things, so yeah.
That's very interesting. Next question. This one comes from Steiny again. Yes, what does WD
Oh
Legendary
my god.
mean? And why do you have Techno/Tech in your name? Why is that? How did it get there?
Oh my god, Jesus. Okay, so WD Legendary. Back when I played this game, fairly competitively, I was in a team called Watermelon Dragons. They were a legendary team. I think Legendary 4 at the time. So I just put their team name in my name because why not? WD. Legendary was just the name that I chose when I started playing the game. Not entirely sure why. I don't really remember. So yeah, that's how WD Legendary came to be. And for Techno slash Tech, well, I think quite a lot of people know about Technoblade now, but back then I used to play Minecraft quite a lot, and yeah, that's how I got my name. I just shortened it to TechPat because I didn't really want to be a copycat anymore. Okay, yeah, that's
You're a
it.
copycat.
Oh,
Anyway, next question. This one comes from Steiny again.
okay.
He says, how good is your mental state?
Oh, okay. We're gonna separate this. I think my mental state right now is fine. I'm much less, I would say, kind of depressed than before. I'm a little stressed out because school is starting and I have two AP classes, which is advanced placement. Basically, just a lot more work and harder for those people who don't live in the US and don't really know what AP classes are. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's much better than before. Thank you for asking that question.
That's epic. Next question.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
it's gonna be the best interview. Alright, it's gonna get the most views.
Yeah.
So many likes. No dislikes. That's important too. Next question. Guess who asked it? Nice guess.
Signing.
Yes. He says, do you still play Monster Legends?
I don't really play Monster Legends anymore. I pop in now and then, maybe collecting free rewards or just deciding to do some small things, but not really. I don't really play it anymore. Do I feel like I'd come back at one point or another? I find it highly unlikely, but I don't know. I pop in this game now and then just to check how things are. Maybe I'll get interested in it if social point manages to improve, which I can almost guarantee they won't. So, yeah, there's your answer.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, since you said no, do you feel like you'd come back at one point?
No.
Next question. This one comes from Jake. Oh, it's a new person. He says, do you play any other games?
Well, as a list, well, I still play a little Minecraft for one. I play Valorant, CS:GO, and League of Legends, and that's pretty much my main games that I play right now.
Nice. This one comes from Jake.
Dude, people are
Again.
disconnecting like every other question. You might want to speed it up a little.
No, Joey, just. I can't do that.
Okay. Well, whatever you want, man. Whatever floats your boat.
This one comes from Jake. Again. He says, what monster has your favorite design? Make a top 10 list? I just realized it's top 5, not top 10.
I don't really. I'm going to be honest here. I don't really pay too much attention to design. One monster design that I do like a lot is the new Varuna. The like cosmic remix of it looks pretty cool. So other than that, I don't really. I'm not too picky about designs. So yeah.
So your answer is none. You hate all of them.
Yes, essentially.
That makes sense.
No, I just don't care.
This one comes from Jake. He says, what do you think of reverse stamina regen as an effect?
Um, I'm not entirely sure what he means by this. Does he mean like if it was a new effect? It's a theoretical effect. If you mean by the like nightmares, drowned, stuff like that. I think right now in the mythic meta, there's not too many monsters that utilize this very well. No significant monsters at least. But it's definitely not bad. But relics kind of make it a little harder to deal with. But now that cosmics have a much more increased stamina capacity, it actually kind of buffs it almost because relics they don't restore stamina by a percentage. They restore it by a set number, but the effects, the tortures, stay constant. They're a percentage. So even if, say, a monster had like 1,000 stamina, it would still be taken away by that percentage. It wouldn't be taken away by a set amount, while the relic would only restore a set amount. So if they ever introduce any more monsters with stamina drain, I feel like it could have a like potential to be pretty good.
Nice. Next question. There goes another. Jake asks, do you have any other hobbies other than school and
I suppose playing
Monster
the violin.
Legends?
Yeah, I suppose playing the violin would be considered a hobby. I do like playing the violin, and obviously I have orchestra as well with my classes. So yeah.
That's the only hobby you have? You don't play any sports or?
I wouldn't consider martial arts a hobby, but it is a sport I do.
Alright. Jake asks, how was the experience when you played Monster Legends for the first time?
Well, first off, I was like an elementary schooler, and second off, it was just a progressive game. So, I mean, at the time, I liked it. That's why I continued playing it. But yeah, there's your answer. I liked it because I was a brainless elementary schooler.
Brainless elementary schooler. I think we were all brainless in elementary school. Uh, right. I'm
Yeah,
just not gonna say Jake anymore because he asked like 10 questions. Like he came up with the whole podcast himself.
yeah.
Uh, he says if you could add a new event in the game, what would it be and how would it work? Which is a pretty open question.
Yeah, that's a definitely very open-ended question, which I don't really know what to think of. That's a good question. I don't know what to do.
It's an interview. You answer it. Give us the answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think once I had this concept, kind of like Grandules. You basically what it would be like is it would draw a random monster pool out of that. Well, now it would be out of that current era. Back then, I was thinking of legendaries. It'd be kind of like multiplayer, how you have like the infinite stamina you can keep battling. You get matched up with random players live, kind of like Grandules. And out of that monster pool, you can make any team you want. Everybody has the same level monsters. They all have the same skills, same stats. You can change up the rune setups though. You can change up your team. And basically, yeah, you just match up with a random person, you battle them, and then that determines your trophy count in that event or mode. And then the higher trophies you get, the more rewards you get. Which would preferably be gems, because right now for some reason they only give gems out to like the bronze tier
Yeah,
PvP, which is
I
kind of
noticed that.
stupid.
It's
But
like that's that's just offensive. I want gems too.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, I get that runes are technically more valuable as well as relics, but not 20 gems can be used like for a lot of things. Like if you keep saving those, you can eventually just get like a pretty good monster from like a progressive or something for free. So yeah, there's your answer.
All right. This, if you could apply a new book, uh, I'm not entirely sure what that means. But if you could add an element to the game, I think we already
I
asked that to Kyram, and he couldn't come up with one. Well,
I
like came up with
I
wind.
don't think I would want to add another element to the game. I think it would already disrupt the balance it has now. You would have to redo some of the interactions, make different interactions. If you added just another default element like fighting or special, it wouldn't really be anything that notable. As for a new book, I don't really know. Books aren't very intriguing to me. They give extra rewards, and that's really their only purpose besides wars. And I again don't know enough about wars in order to make a whole new book to interrupt like the delicate balances that are in it. And I can't really be bothered to think of all a bunch of monsters I could add to this book as well. So yeah, I'm going to have to like pretty much turn down this question.
So your answer is if you could add, what element would you add? It's just no. I
Yeah,
would
it's just
not.
no. It's not a good idea. Yeah.
Next question. What are your thoughts on the new PvP mechanic? I assume he means like the redoing of PvP that was made what, like a month ago now?
Yeah, I assume you mean I'm not going to comment on the chess system because I think everyone just says like, who doesn't like getting free rewards, right? So I think we can all agree that we like the chess, but especially when the wheel was almost useless 90% of the time, unless it happened to be a maze, which then you could keep re-rolling for maze coins, but even then the rewards weren't consistent. So yeah, the chess system was a pretty good redoing. Obviously, there's definitely some bias because we all like getting free rewards. As for the infinite stamina, I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. It rewards people who keep grinding the game, and that's good because people who work harder and grind more should be able to get more rewards. But at the same time, it I feel like it can sometimes be a little too much because there'll be some people that literally have no life, no offense, and will just grind the entire day. They can just keep battling and battling over and over again. They don't really care. They can do it over and over again only just because they have the time. And then some people who, they have school, they have college, they have something they need to do, they have to apply for a job, they have to work a job. They don't have that time to be able to grind the game over and over again the entire day. And I don't think that it benefits those people. And I feel like there are quite a lot of people that fall into that category, especially those that who are even in school, which I would assume would be their main demographic. Not like a freaking 32-year-old in his basement, living in his mom's basement that has no time. I mean, all the time in the world to do whatever he wants. So I think that if they increase the stamina, I think through only three attacks is definitely a little low. Or maybe if they decrease the cooldown, because it gets to the point where it's annoying. The point to where like you have too few attacks. But I think the fact they gave an infinite amount of attacks is actually kind of a bad idea. Because again, if you don't really have a life, you can easily get ahead of others just because you have those infinite attacks over and over again. And then as for the fact that you don't get to choose your opponent anymore, I feel like that's good because it's more of it puts your team and it tests your team against a variety of teams. It's not like you can just choose a counter or you can just choose a team that's blatantly weak to yours. You don't get to choose yourself a good matchup. You have to hope that you have to make a team that has good matchups against the most teams. And I feel like that's kind of the whole point of PvP. So yeah, there are my thoughts on the new PvP mechanic.
That's cool. Next question. What event would you like to see return?
Oh, I guess I don't really have much ideas, but I was looking in the podcast chat and I saw that the guy 442 wanted to bring back Treasure Cave, and I think that'd be pretty cool just because free rewards. So yeah, Treasure Cave would be pretty nice to bring back. I agree with that.
Oh, wait. Alright. Next question. Is there any old legendary monster you haven't collected but you really want?
Canadian, are you there?
Yes. I just asked a
Next
question.
question.
I just asked it. How did I
I
not go?
answered it.
I didn't hear your answer.
Okay, basically, I would think bringing back the
No, I
Treasure
meant
Cave as
wait,
suggested by like the guy
wait,
442 and the.
wait. I I asked a new question.
You asked a new question. I didn't hear it.
Well, let me. All right. Is there any old legendary monster you haven't collected but you really want to?
I would probably just say Reptile because back in the day he was very good, and the triple damage is still kind of cool to have. Just because why not? Maybe not in a competitive manner. I would be using him, but maybe like in just a to mess around. So yeah, that's just really the only old legendary monster that would be nice for me to collect. Yeah.
Haha. Imagine not having Reptile. Could not be me. I never even used him. Uh, do you watch any Monster Legends content creators?
Whenever I just feel like I want to get a rundown of like a new monster or I just want to catch up with or see somebody's insights that are pretty unique, I would probably just go to Armor Gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes he has opinions that are just straight up just wacko, but most of the time they're pretty cohesive and he thinks outside the box quite a lot. And I think it's pretty nice to have somebody else's insight, especially when it comes from an angle that a lot of the time I never really thought of. And I just feel like he's a really good, clean, cut out, simple content creator, and I think that's nice to have.
You don't watch Tutran, the best Monster Legends content creator? How can you? He's the best.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man. I only have time for one. Yeah.
Makes sense. What would you think if Social Point made a new Monster Legends game, Monster Legends 2, and started everything all over again? But this time, everything that they failed at was improved.
Um. First off, I would probably be in a state of shock because Social Point is, to put this nicely, stupid. They don't care. They don't listen. They fail at everything. They make promises that don't end up actually being true. So, firstly, I'd be in a state of shock, and secondly, I'd be pretty amazed at the same time. I mean, it'd also be a pretty fun game. I might think of getting back into it again, and yeah, yeah, that's basically my thoughts of it. It's just, yeah, shocked, but also pretty amazed.
Monster Legends 2, that's just a legendary name in general. Monster Legends 2, the second one. Uh, who's your favorite monster usage-wise? I don't even know if you play anymore. So
Back when I
maybe.
did play, if I'm probably back when I did play, I would probably have to just say Wormlad, just because Wormlad was overpowered. Before I got the res, he was still really good. Keep in mind, I got him. This was during the legendary meta. This wasn't during the whole cosmic thing. Yeah, even before then, he was really nice to have, especially when you combined him with a taunt monster. Back then, he was just like broken. So yeah, I like Wormlad the most usage wise, and don't even get me started as when I got the resurrection because I was pretty sick. So yeah.
What type of monster do you like the most? Like support, an attacker, a tank, a healer, a resurrector, a cursor, a torturer, a
Cursor, first
denier?
off, Cursor and Torturers are almost the same thing most of the time. A lot of time, Cursors
Not
and Torturers are lumped
almost.
together as one monster. Like, the monster will have like, let's see, Curse and Torturer. Yeah, those are basically the same thing. Anyways, so I think probably my favorite type of monster would be support, and it's a weird answer, but I feel like they most of the time they have the most unique move sets and the most unique traits compared to like an attacker just does damage. Back then, a denier would just have like an absolutely broken move set, and yeah, it was always almost all the time was just the monster with the most broken move set. So, and attackers are just well, most of the time it's just like damage, right? They sometimes they'll have different moves to give it a way of outputting that damage more effectively, but in the general sense of it, they just do a lot of damage most of the time. So I just feel like supports have the most creative moves, but at the same time, a lot of the time they aren't like brokenly, stupidly overpowered, like Hey Man Ghost Carnival or Sons of Witches. So yeah.
Alright, so that is the last of Jake's questions. Uh, we probably spent a good like 15 minutes on that, but now we have new questions from new people. This one comes from Big Ego. He says, "How are you? And how's your dog?"
I'm doing good. Just a little stressed out with all the advanced placement classes. My dog is also doing pretty good, but she's always doing pretty good. She gets like 16 hours of sleep every night. When last night I slept at 12 a.m. So, yeah.
Alright. New folder asks, "Can you spare 10 minutes of your time to talk about your dog?"
I
You gotta talk.
mean, I don't think
You gotta talk about him
I
for
don't think
10 minutes.
can spare a whole 10 minutes, but I can spare like 5. Okay. So my dog is so a lot of you guys might know the Doge meme, which is I mean, I think Doge died, sad face. But yeah, my dog is the same species. Mixed with another dog, she looks pretty similar. She's a Shiba Inu, and she comes with the same sass that is associated with a Shiba Inu. They're known for being notoriously intelligent, which at first sounds really cool, right? I mean, having an intelligent dog is awesome sometimes because they'll act like a human, and it's honestly baffling to see how intelligent they are. But at the same time, because they are that intelligent, they don't blindly follow you. Like you go to like I'm not saying golden retrievers are dumb, but they're just not as smart and slash or independent. You go to a golden retriever and they just blindly do what you want. Like if you want them to cuddle, they like their sole purpose in life is to follow your command. Like you tell them to cuddle with you, they'll cuddle with you. You tell them to go get the ball, they will. It's kind of amazing, but it's not to say that my dog isn't loyal per se, but she isn't exactly the most perfect role model when it comes to loyalty. She acts like a human. She will do her own thing. She acts like a teenager. I'll go to her and hug her while she's sleeping, and she will let out this huge groan, like she wants to die. To the point, and I did it so much to the point to where she would preemptively get up when she saw me coming and move somewhere else to sleep, just because she already knew I was going to do it. And she can be troublesome to shower. Well, first off, she doesn't like showers. But that's not really the problem. She doesn't struggle around in the shower. Once you get her in the shower, she just kind of gives up because she knows that there's nothing she can do about it. But when she hears the pitter patter of the water coming down from the shower, she will go hide in the most obscure place she can possibly find. Or she will go to someone in the family and ask them to protect her. And she'll just hug you. Like she'll literally lean herself against you the entire time. Uh, yeah, it's kind of annoying to shower her, but it's cute. She just hides. She gets scared. And yeah, she's too smart. And she's a lot of times owners have to worry about dogs eating things that are poisonous to them, but for some reason my dog doesn't do that. Like we give her something that's poisonous to her, she'll like just reject it. She refuses to eat. She refuses to eat it. Speaking of which, she's very picky. Sometimes, so a lot of dogs, actually, I would say almost every dog, you just give them a treat. Doesn't really matter what treat, as long as it's not really bad, and they'll just accept it. But my dog does not do that. No. Some days she'll have a different taste. Some days she'll want the bone. Some days she'll want a cracker. Some days she'll want a piece of chicken jerky. Just depends on her mood. So I'll go to the treat room, like the treats we have, and I'll pull out a piece of chicken jerky. Maybe a day she'll take it. But a lot of days she'll just say no, and then I'll have to give her the cracker. Sometimes she'll say no, and then she'll finally settle on the bone. Other days she'll want a piece of chicken jerky. So I'll try to give her a bone, she'll refuse. Try to give her a cracker, she'll refuse. And by refuse, I don't mean like she takes it and just kind of puts it down. And I don't mean like she accepts it and like eats it with some hesitance. I mean like she just straight up rejects it. She'll just go, then I have to put it back and cycle to the next treat. And sometimes after cycling treats like 3 times, she'll finally decide to take one, even if it's just the same type. I don't really understand her. And yeah, well, I think that's about 5 minutes. That's basically my dog. She's sassy. She's independent. She acts way too much like a human for me to be comfortable. So there you go.
It's a funny dog you got there. It was about 5 minutes. That should be good enough. Uh, Ambiguous. The Australian. He says thoughts on resurrection block, specifically on Craster. I'm not entirely sure why he specified
Yeah, okay.
Craster, but
Yeah, not entirely sure why Craster, because Craster is not all that great. But I think when it comes to the right monster, okay, so there are two things that make Resblock good. Number one, the monster's overall survivability, and it's a moveset besides that. Number two, the meta. So number one, a lot of times some metas will absolutely just have no resurrection whatsoever. It will lack resurrection, and in that case, obviously res block is horrible. And secondly is the survivability of the monster. Actually, I'm going to put moveset as a third reason, but secondly is the survivability of the monster. So, does this monster have dodge area? Do they have like a particularly good moveset or good speed or good life stat that makes them highly survivable? Actually, I would say the health stat is very deceiving. Because a health stat without the right trait or without the right moveset is actually means nearly nothing. For example, Soul Hugger. He has a super huge life stat, but his moveset is so bad that he can't even survive. He just gets denied easily, even when behind a monster that can try to protect him. But on the flip side, when it comes to a monster like Nakasha, well, first off, her moveset's actually pretty good. She's a pretty decent support. She has the basics. She has some NER. She has some curse. She has some positive effects that she can give to her teammates. It's definitely a more simple moveset for support. It's not like trait disable and all, but it's definitely not bad. Not bad enough to the point to where like you'll throw her out. And secondly, she has dodge area. Now, even though Nakasha's life stat is definitely not something that you'll be very impressed with, the fact that she has dodge area on its own, back then in that meta, There was Taunt, like Taunt Dodge Area was the meta. She was probably one of the most survivable monsters among the other Dodge Area monsters. So that made her really good because you could have that res block constantly. You didn't have to worry about it just getting straight up disabled or denied or whatsoever. You know that Mikasha will probably be there. She'll probably be alive, and that's what made her good. Plus, the meta had reses quite often at the time, like for example, Wormlad, most primarily, actually probably only, but yeah. So that's my thoughts on res block there.
Nice. Anyway, what is the next question? If Discord could load faster, that'd be funny.
No clue.
Nitro. He asks thoughts on Vanos versus Risalka. I think that's how you say that monster's name.
Oh, okay. So I feel like Vanoss just has generally a much more solid moveset. He has generally higher damage values. He has he has different, like I think he has dazed. Um his typing is just better in the meta because Wormlad is obviously a light monster, and that's a monster, it's an absolute must need. You need to take him down. You need to be able to destroy this monster. If you not destroy him, it's a problem, especially when he holds essence. You need to be able to solidly counter him, and I feel like Vanos does that especially well since he's a metal type. Obviously, he was legit made to counter Wormlad. If you look in one of our past podcasts, you can see us talking about how it was targeted towards them. I think armors even, but yeah, Vanos is just good. He has a better moveset. He has just great damage. It's solid. He has PER. He has the dazed, and his typing is just much better. I just feel like Vanos is just better in general. Rusalka definitely isn't bad, but I feel like given the circumstances of the current meta and Vanos is very versatile, solid, just cut clean moveset, I just feel like Vanos is just a better monster to have.
Nice. This one comes from Nitro.
Nice.
Again. He asks, thoughts on Aatrox versus Slugazoid?
Slugazoid. Okay. I think if you've heard me in pretty much any podcast or heard me talking about Slugazoid in any way, shape, or form, you know how much I hate Slugazoid and how much I just absolutely shat on him. First off, I'm not a huge fan of Stamina Drain. Stamina Drain, I just don't like it. It's not reliable whatsoever, especially with Relics still being able to at least manage. And I would be fine with this, but besides the stamina drain, which you need to have relics on him to stamina drain in the first place, he doesn't have any denial. He doesn't have any solid AoE denial. He has no AoE freeze, not even an AoE 100% stamina drain. He just needs to rely on relics plus his moveset in order to stamina drain. But Aatrox, I feel like he's solid. I mean, he has that AoE stun, he has that single double stun. You know that single double stun is going to land, and you know that AoE stun, this sort of base AoE deny right now is actually surprisingly good. I mean, stun isn't exactly the best thing in the world, but it's definitely not horrible, at least right now. Yeah, I just feel like Aatrox is much more solid. I mean, never was a big fan of Stamina Drain. I still am not a big fan of Stamina Drain. And anyway, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. And even then, he still has the potential to Stamina Drain Aatrox with Mask and stuff. So I don't really see much of a reason why to use Slugazoid anyway. So yeah, there you go.
That was a good argument. Maybe you'll make it on the ranking council one day.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy.
We're getting down to like the last questions. Big Ego says, say the funny. I don't know what that means. Actually, I actually don't know.
He wants me to say a joke. My life.
Ho ho. It's a funny one. Maybe he just wants you to say the funny.
My life.
No, I
Oh,
meant
the funny? The funny.
just say the funny.
The funny.
You did it. I'm proud of you.
Oh, oh, let's go.
This is
Can we
like
get
this is
a poggers in the chat?
yo, let's get some pogs in the chat, boys. Some big pogs.
If we don't get poggers in the chat, I'm going to cancel everybody.
This is the last question
Alright,
before
guess
I
we're
go
getting
to general. Last question before I go to general. See if there's any like last minute questions. This one comes from Mr. Juice Jamboree. He says favorite rare, particularly light electric type. I think he's hinting at something.
Rares can die. With football apparel. Oh my god. I'm not very much into rares. I'm not. They're very cut clean. It's the same reason that I wasn't into the first few mythics, even though they were balanced well. They have a very cut clean moveset. Not that great. And I'm not going to say the name of the rare that you're implying because I don't want to. Anyway, let's check general chat. If you have a question, please do it in podcast questions because I
If you
can't be asked to scroll through.
Yeah, if you have a question, yell at us. Never
Yeah,
mind.
okay.
They're
Nitrogenic.
arguing about something.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Nitrogenic, yeah. I literally said that Aatrox has mask and staff. He can also drain.
He
And
does have mask and staff.
yeah,
He does.
he does. He can
That is
still
true.
stamina drain. It's like saying any monster has Stefty. In the
I guess we could just yell at people.
Sure. But stamina drain is potent, but I mean
Potent.
I think Pro is a little biased for stamina drain because when you have a mix of stamina drain with somebody actually good like Kodama, obviously it's going to be great. But you put on a monster like Slugazoid that has pretty much nothing outside of stamina drain with relics, and it's bad. He's not even self-sustainable. Relics only have a limited amount of usage, so once he's out of those uses, there's pretty much nothing he can do. At least Aatrox, even when there's out of uses on its relics, he can still at least AoE base stun. Kodama has just generally good denial, even without it. He has a generally good moveset. But Slugazoid is just garbage. He doesn't have a good moveset. Once he's gone with those uses, he doesn't really have anything else. Why not use Kodama? Why not use Aatrox? At least they have something outside of those limited uses you have on your relics. I don't really get why everybody's so obsessive over Slugazoid and why people are saying he's potent or he's underrated. He's not. He's garbage.
The last question that was put in podcast questions
Yeah,
is
stamina drain.
what?
At least he has some. He still has at least some form of stamina drain.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
Yeah. Oh, there's another question. Yeah, I don't need to yell at this guy anymore. Stopped in the spooky month. Oh. So if we're talking about just Halloween in the U.S., I feel like it's a very weird concept here. Because first off, you're getting candies from complete strangers that could have the virus.
the virus?
Actually, you know what? Let's not just go. I just think it's going to be weird with Corona. I think it's going to be weird with the virus. It's not going to be the same experience as usual. And anyway, I'm like a sophomore now in like high school, so I don't really do trick or treating anymore. I don't have time for that, nor do I really want to anymore. So
Don't got time for
yeah, there
that.
you
I
go.
got
That's my
studying.
thought. There's my thoughts on the spooky month. Yeah, I legit had to do like I think I read like 11 pages of a passage about Buddhism and Chinese history. So for World History AP, I don't
That's
really have time to trick or treat. And I had to annotate the entire article, and then I had to talk about it today, and the entire class had to talk about it today. And the points were based off of if you knew what you were talking about. So I was very nervous, and I studied so much yesterday that I slept at 12 a.m. And
So
counting the time it took for me to brush my teeth and then actually fall asleep, I probably slept at like 1 a.m. or 12:30 a.m.
it took you that long to
So
brush your
yeah.
teeth?
No, it takes me a while to fall asleep. I'm a very light sleeper. Also, my bed creaks. Like anytime I move a tiny bit, it lets out a ear-piercing screech. Sounds like I'm playing the freaking second harmonic on my E string.
Speaking of violin, why not you finish this off? If you're able, with a bit of violin.
Um,
Because if not,
if I'm
then I'm breaking.
able,
If I'm not, I'm breaking out the trumpet. All right.
break out the trumpet. You know, I just want to see
Oh
you break
no.
out the trumpet now.
Oh, is it? It's trumpet
I'm
time.
intrigued. I am
I'm
intrigued.
gonna have to put this away from my microphone so that I don't just hurt everyone's ears.
All right, Pog.
Paul.
Oh, I hear you getting it out of the case.
Oh, you doubted me when I said. All right,
It's trumpet
I'm
time.
gonna put off my headset because I can't really play it and use it at the same time. So if you say anything, I'm not gonna hear you. I still don't know how to play the scale.
That
Let's
was
see how
pretty
long I can
nice.
hold a note. That's very tiring.
I
I can't
believe
really
that is
play
a
any
B
songs
natural.
because I haven't played trumpet in a long time. Oh,
I'm
are you
plucking
playing
because I
something
can't
now?
be asked to bring up the bell. I can't be asked. I just submitted my. I already did violin region. I can't be asked to do more.
Maybe. Alright, I'm putting the trumpet away. That's all you get for the trumpet, sorry. Maybe check back next time for the trumpet.
Yep.
Wait, should I play Minecraft theme? Is it the Minecraft theme time?
I'll stream for Minecraft just to. Are you still recording? Or are we done?
Nah, I'm still recording. Well, I'm playing the
I want to
Minecraft
stop the
theme.
recording.
I don't know what you
Playing
just said.
Minecraft. I'm gonna stream some practice server. Alright, if you
Yeah, let me
want to see
move
me
this
get
stuff out
railed,
of
you
the
can
way.
go ahead and watch. You might want to stop the recording.
No. Once after I play the
You wanna?
Minecraft theme, then it will be all over. Let me plug in my keyboard.
Let me start streaming. For your
Streaming what?
orchestra, orchestra doesn't have a singer. That's an opera. Actually, yeah,
Put on
orchestras don't have
sustain.
singers. There's
Shh.
percussion.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is very important. This is important to my culture as a
Unless
gamer. That is all. Oh no. I think it disconnected. Rest in peace.
You can use that for an enchantment table, kids. Okay, first priority, get a wooden pick, then find a cave and get some iron. I'm in a savannah biome. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna find a cave.
Are you playing
Sugarcane, I should
Minecraft right
probably.
now? Anyway, I should probably end
Yeah,
the recording.
yeah, you should probably. I said this before. I said I was going to play Minecraft.
I said I had to do the theme, and then as soon as I stop, I
Actually, if you
disconnect,
want,
which is pretty
you can
funny.
make a separate recording of me playing Minecraft and just put it on as like a different like you know content, man. You gotta think of the content. And
All right,
no, I'm not going to save the spot for later. I'll replant it when I find what I want to be in, guys.
all right. Thanks for coming to this super cool interview. Uh,
You know,
yeah, we've been
RC
going at
gaming
this for
channel.
over an hour,
Like
or actually no, pretty close to an hour.
seriously?
It's 51 minutes. Says it right there.
I need to find a cave. I think 4 wood should be good enough for now. I
Can
can't
I?
be asked to get more.
Okay, I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
get some.
outro. I'm going to outro now. Bye
I
bye,
see.
everyone. Say hi to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube,
Bye.
everyone. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi to YouTube, everyone. Okay, well, there's so much sugarcane here. It's great, but I need to find a cave. Otherwise, I'll be sad.
Okay.
I can't be asked to go dig down to find a cave.
Bye bye,
Or a
everyone.
village would be nice as well.
Can can I can I
Okay,
end
here we go.
can I end this? I still haven't ended it. Okay.
All right, bye. End
Bye,
it.
everyone.